Yeah. Why are we still going? There it goes. It always stays. It keeps on going. Why are we still going? We're talking. What happened? There it goes. It always stays.
Are we in some kind of vacuum?
Yeah, we're getting some kind of back.
Are we in
Hello?
some kind of vacuum?
You still getting it?
Yeah, some kind of feedback. Usually it's me, so I'm glad it's not me tonight.
You still getting it?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I got to go through all this now. How is it now?
Because I'm frozen. So can you hear me though?
Fun.
Okay, we got it. We got it. Okay.
I can hear you.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
April
I guess
1st, everybody.
We're good.
April
see
1st.
what happens. But
All
hello,
right.
everyone.
Goodness
Welcome.
gracious. Well, technical difficulties. Okay, welcome to the show. We're back like usual. Oh, we lost Kim. We got Kim. Kim went out. Kim
No,
went
I'm
out.
gonna
It's
try
one of those
something.
nights.
I
We're
hear
One
gonna
of
it.
the nights. We're
I'm gonna try
losing
something.
everything. It's going crazy already. Oh boy. So welcome to Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians. We're back. This is our 25th show.
Woohoo!
On
Yeah.
25th show. Awesome.
I'm
This is
so excited
awesome.
about that.
Yes. I just can't wait. You
I
know,
know.
we'll 25th show.
25th show.
And
That's my lucky number. 25.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. 25.
the
Oh, I was
25th.
like, why is 25 your lucky number? That's so specific.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a lucky number, but it's my birthday, the 25th.
Yeah,
It's her
great.
birthday. She has a birthday too.
my
You know?
lucky number. I don't have a lucky number. I like the
Let me
power
see
of
if I can get
two.
this back. So yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to the show tonight. And like usual, you guys do anything this weekend? Anything?
Go
Good.
ahead, Kim.
No, I just worked a bunch. Yeah, just working and no, nothing really.
Okay.
Yeah, quiet for me too. For unusual, I know
Yeah.
Anthony's gonna fall over and
You didn't do nothing this
that
weekend.
I didn't go on an investigation. I know, shocker.
Oh,
Yeah, it
good.
is.
That's all right. Take a break. Oh, you know what I did get back this week that I was been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks are some death certificates that I've been.
She's so excited.
Nice.
She's like, death records.
Yay. You can't tell we're investigators or any kind of. We're not into the dead.
Here's
Or
the
their
first
Test
thing.
tubes.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
consumption, liver disease. Yes.
I know. And then there was one. I'm like, God, that's a cursive. It's like, gosh, I can barely read it. What are we gonna do in like 50 years when nobody can read these anymore?
Gotta know.
Oh, death certificates. Yes,
Yes,
yes, Dr. Carmel.
Lucky
That's what I
us.
got this week. I was very excited.
Yeah.
Good.
Nerds.
I just had a 80th birthday with my aunt.
Ah.
Her birthday is this week. So
Wow.
So they had a surprise party for her. And we went there. It was the whole family. Got to see everybody. Whoops, there he goes.
What's going on?
It's a crazy night, really is. I had to give up something. I'm not going to explain. It's
It's
behind
all
the scenes
good.
thing.
It's
It's all
April
good. It's going to
4th.
work out. We're going to have a good show tonight.
Yes, we are.
And so let's start the show
Please.
because
Great.
before anything else disappears on us tonight. I mean,
Before
you
anything
know,
else goes
things are
wrong.
popping in, popping out, people disappearing on us and not talking.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Todd and Carmela. Hi, Melissa, Adam, Richard. Hi, everyone.
Perfect.
Hey, it was awesome, guys. Hello, everybody in the audience.
Hello, friends.
Hello. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got a bunch of people tonight, you know, so and it was all our friends. Hey, that's the best part about it. Everybody in the audience is our friends,
I know.
our family. So that's we enjoy that. So,
What's your shirt today, Anthony? Sorry, it's a
Yeah, we
Batman.
gotta know.
Yeah,
It's Batman.
All right.
Batman. Matt, I just grabbed the shirt out of the drawer to come in here because I was walking around no shirt, and I don't think you guys want to see me with no shirt because at this stage in life I need a bra, and I'm not
Straight
talking about a
downhill.
C. I'm talking about like a double D. So
Straight off the
the
rails.
stuff that you not need to know.
Okay.
Usually,
we gotcha.
It's like hour number 2 that we go off the rails, but we're gonna start off right away.
We start off. We got to do something to make ourselves. I don't know. I got to raise our volume up a little bit. Yeah, we got to start somewhere. So, Jen, let's start the show. You want to introduce?
I always do. It's my job.
Yes.
That's why I'm here.
Your job. And then when you're done with that, you can go home. You're home.
No, stay here. You are
So-
home. You are home.
Yeah, okay. And I'm out. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Chris and Beth Houlihan.
Hey, I got to bring him in.
From Richmond,
Oh, yeah.
Virginia.
Now you're up, Anthony. You're up.
Now
Then
I'm
you
up.
can go home.
Here we go. There
There
we
we
go.
are.
What's up, guys?
They're like,
Hi, Chris. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Hey, good evening.
Run away.
I met them in Hanover Tavern. That's why I met you, wasn't it?
Yes, yep. We met at the Hanover Tavern Paracon.
Yeah, that
Right.
was awesome.
Oh,
I met
nice.
them. I see what they. I was there with Ron Iacovetti. He had his setup, selling books and stuff. Okay. How can we have another echo? No, I don't know about this now. Did you go? I don't know what's going on tonight.
Weird.
This is crazy.
It's April Fool's Day.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
April Fools, and we lost Jenny.
Yeah. What?
All right. We'll just
Okay.
keep going. I will say your
We got
sound
this.
is perfect. I can hear you crystal clear. Your microphones are
Wait.
excellent.
I am here.
Okay.
Josh.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, there goes Jenny again. Well, I met you guys at Hanover, and you guys were right across from me, and I was like, I came over and started talking to you guys, and and it was like awesome. And then I was like, "You want to be on the show?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Heck
And-
yeah.
And now they're here, little kitty.
This is Una. She has to be the center of everything.
We are.
Eunice. Hey,
Her.
why not?
They'll be around again, I'm sure.
As we mentioned before, our YouTube
Okay.
channel videos, it is cat shenanigans.
Yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Because
Okay.
God forbid they don't get seen.
yeah,
No,
if they don't
get
get
it. I
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
if-
it's highly offensive. Yes.
Yeah. And if they don't make an appearance, our guests start asking, where are they? Because you know who the real stars of the show are.
Not us.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
animal friendly here. We are
Yeah,
very animal
yeah.
friendly. And I've got 3 cats outside that door very mad at me right now.
We've got
Like,
4.
Let us in. Let us in.
Yeah, we unfortunately don't really have a good space for that. So yeah, they're
We apologize in advance.
yeah, we apologize. There you
No,
go.
it's a glass door. They're like this.
we had one guest on with a cat. The cat turned around and looked at them, and all we seen was the butt of the cat.
Yep. You might get that
Mhm.
treatment.
And it
this
was
evening.
like,
We will try not to.
okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
We are cat friendly.
It's like
Yeah.
rating us.
Lots of own pets. So
We like the
all
animals here.
welcome.
So, Jenny, you want to tell us what they do?
Do I want to tell them what you do? Why
No,
don't we-
but tell
why don't we
them.
talk about
Tell them,
let's
Jenny.
talk a little bit about
Tell 'em, Jenny.
let's start with how you got involved in the paranormal. That's usually our first question, and I know that's everybody's first question on the on a podcast, but we need to know for our viewers, please.
No,
need to know.
it's a
It's
fair
all my fault.
it's a fair question. I'll little high level for me first. So I grew up with just a general interest in the paranormal. My parents took us around to historic locations, and we didn't necessarily there wasn't paranormal investigating or really even ghost tours, but it just kind of going to some of these older locations, beautiful old forts and stuff like that. You can't help but to come across some chit chat around the paranormal, and that was just something that was always a bit of an interest for me growing up. My favorite movie when I was younger, and honestly, I mean, one of my favorites still today is Ghostbusters. I've always loved that, and so I've always just had a general fascination with the paranormal. As far as really kind of diving in and kind of partially making a living out of it, that is something else entirely. But
that one is my fault.
that is Beth's fault.
No,
I
I
love
had
how
my
she
first
says fault.
paranormal experience when I was 6. My dad was a minister, and I grew up in parsonages. And well, let's just say my imaginary friends weren't so imaginary.
Wow.
But as I got older, we always did camps and would tell ghost stories, that sort of thing. How can we freak each other out? When I got to college, I actually started the ghost tour on my college campus. And then when I became a teacher, one of my coworkers said, "Hey, I'm giving ghost tours. Why don't you come out on one?" I said, "Great." After the tour, she said, "We're hiring." I said, "I'm there." And I started the following year. And then about 12 years later, less than
12 years.
10 years later,
Yeah.
10 years later, I became the owner of the company.
Yeah.
So
It was less than that, because
Yeah.
you gave your first tour in
2000, end of 2007 and
Seven.
into 8. Yeah.
Yep, and then we wound up taking over haunts in January of 16.
Yeah.
So, but
Time is weird after COVID.
Yes.
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
so gets a little more interesting, actually. We'll kind of can dive right in with a little bit of a ghost story to start things. So Beth started giving the tours,
You got
and
the job because of a ghost.
I did. So for a while, Haunts of Richmond was officially partnered with the Poe Museum in Shockoe Bottom, and all the tours would go in and out of the museum to start and end. And I was going down quite often, not as an employee, but just kind of tagging along with Beth. And
Or he was going to the local pub and drinking my check away.
I was getting there. I was going to admit to it. So yeah, if I wasn't actually tagging along on the tour, yes, I might wind up
Well, you
having
got different
beer
types
or
of
three.
spirits then.
Hey, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, different types.
So after a couple years of that, there was an event, a spooky event, if you will, one October. And basically what happened was the evening that the tours were starting out of the Poe Museum, there always had to be a Poe Museum staffer there to unlock the door. And on this particular evening, while the tour was out and about in Shockoe Bottom, apparently one of the resident spirits, Jonathan, decided to get a little active and have a little bit of fun. Not, just being mischievous, because he was a little boy. I think he was about 6 years old. And freaked out the Poe Museum staffer. And then one of our guides who was in attendance said, well, just kind of have to talk him down, talk to him like his mother. And so while the museum staffer and our other guide were there in the old stone house at the Poe Museum, that's exactly what our guide did. Her guide said, "Hey, Jonathan, you need to knock it off right now. You're scaring Erica."
I love it.
And the other resident spirit of the old stone house, a very protective entity named Kate, decided to make an appearance and scared the bejesus out of these Erica and our guide Melanie. And at the end of the night, after huddling back behind the desk for a little while and waiting for the tours to finish up, at the end of the night, after they locked up the museum, Erica called the curator and quit on the spot.
Chris was hired the next day.
They needed somebody to come in and be the Poe Museum staffer. So I actually officially started as a Poe Museum staffer, explicitly designated to unlock the museum for the tours. And well, when we amicably parted ways with the Poe Museum on the business front, we still do events with them today and are very good friends of theirs. But when we separated business-wise, I stayed on basically with Haunts of Richmond, and well, here we are today.
Yeah, I saw the comment pop up, the Poe Museum, yes, as an Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, that's the one. Yep, down in Shockoe Bottom
That's right.
neighborhood at 20th and East Main Streets.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
One and
a little
only.
bit of-
And his mother, right?
Well, that was
Elizabeth?
paranormally divine intervention there.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Got the job.
You got a job and a
least-
wife.
paranormal
Yeah,
intervention.
well,
The wife was there before.
yes, we were married actually before you started even giving tours.
Yep.
So yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll be this is 19 years
Yeah.
this year. So yeah, we've been married for a little while now.
Years. Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Wow,
Is
nice.
the company Haunts of Richmond?
Yes.
What is
Yes.
what tell me more about this. Tell me more
Yeah.
about this.
So Haunts of Richmond actually started as a haunted house down on 18th Street, and after the first year, people kept asking. Sorry, I've got a cat trying to take a cord. After the first year of asking of when does the ghost tour leave, they took the hint, developed the ghost tour, and the ghost tour has been going ever since. We now have 6 routes throughout the city. We do special events, dinners, pub crawls. We partner with the John Marshall House periodically and do an event with them. And CPRI, which is a local paranormal research group here, they specifically are the only group that has investigated the John Marshall House. So they will share their research and their findings from the investigations on our event with them.
I do have the your YouTube page up. You want me to put that up right now?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah, so
You
this
guys
actually
look up-
started with COVID. I was not allowed to work for several months, and Chris told me to start writing Facebook Live scripts. And so we started doing Facebook Live, and then after each live event, we would transfer it over to YouTube.
So, and what you got right there, that's our website, which this time next week we should have a shiny new website. It got a rework in the works, kind of bringing it into the modern era.
Yes.
So yeah, we got some work going on there, but yeah, that does lay out kind of our events and our special events and our tours and our special events rather, and everything that we got going on. And we do this all year round. The tours are not just a spooky season thing. Tours are available most nights throughout the year.
Is it here?
Oh my God, I love that. So
Wow.
me, for one, I love
This is
going
scheduled.
on ghost tours. Of every town I go to, I literally Google ghost tours in the town. I mean, obviously because I'm super obsessed, as we all are here. But I love that. Super cool. I have not been to Richmond. Yeah, Richmond, Virginia.
Yep.
I have not been to there.
Well, when you make it around, we will be here. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
You down in Richmond, make sure you see these guys. Yeah. I got your website. Okay. We do we sponsor special or other events throughout the area as well. So we're actually a sponsor of the RVA Burlesque Festival. We have been since their inception a few years ago, and the next one is actually 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
Oh wait,
yeah.
not this coming weekend, but the following weekend.
Yeah.
So next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the RVA Burlesque Festival is back in town, and we are one of the sponsors for that. So
God, what a fun town.
Yeah. So we sponsor other things like an Oktoberfest festival,
roller derby,
and other events that come up and throughout the year as well. We'll oftentimes contribute gift certificates and stuff like that. We like being able
roller
to
derbies where you get to do roller derby with ghosts.
Yeah.
I really think they need to name a team after us soon.
Well, I mean, I forget which one it is. There's 2 local travel teams. There's Pose Punishers.
Yep.
And the
River City. What is it?
I'm blanking.
Oh,
shame on me. I caught a little flat-footed there, but yeah, they the teams do have kind of slightly spooky names. So right. Kudos to them. We're very excited to be able to support them as well. But River City
cool.
Roller Derby has a couple of teams going on here, and they travel around.
I'm thinking that we didn't have roller derby and burlesque on our bingo cards tonight.
Yeah, I know.
No. Oh my God, that's fun.
But here we are.
Yeah, we
Hollywood Undertaker.
That's right.
Or Double D.
Versatile,
on the bingo card either.
Yeah, the other one's the Hollywood Undertakers for it's
funny.
Yeah, Hollywood Cemetery here in Richmond is a major landmark that if you come to town, it's a must visit.
Especially in October,
Okay.
the leaves are beautiful.
Yep. So we got Pose
Now,
Punishers and
do
the
you
Hollywood
guys have-
Undertakers.
I love it. The roller derby, where everybody's digging it in the audience. Do you guys have special events in October? Like,
Most of the time, October
or is
just
it all
rolls
the
on its
same?
own.
Okay.
But we do actually partner with Hanover Tavern, historic Hanover Tavern.
Mhm.
They have an event called Ghost Walks at Night, where they actually bring in volunteers to portray the ghosts that are in the tavern, and we participate with that.
Ooh.
I'm actually one of the actors. Chris is one of the tour guides.
Yep, and we usually have at least a couple other of our guides who will come on out and help as well. So, yeah, we love being able to being a part of that event, and we were just talking about it a lot today, pinning down the exact dates. It looks like this year it's going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, October 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yeah.
So,
And the
Okay.
following weekend, we will actually be at Nightmare Weekend with the vendor table and also hopefully panels. We normally do panels for them.
yeah, that's a big
Nice.
horror themed convention
Weekend.
that's here in Richmond. So we got those going on. And then, yeah, we'll usually mix in a couple other special events. We'll see what the calendar has in store for us. And we'll sometimes do stuff with the Branch Museum, like storytelling events at the Branch Museum of Architecture and Design here in Richmond. So
With the Poe Museum, we usually do Birthday Bash and Death Day celebrations, doing storytelling with them.
so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you never know what the each
Yeah.
year is going to bring, but yeah, we get around town here and have a lot of great people that we work with.
We had the Hanover Tavern on not too long ago. We had it on with
Yeah.
Steve and Tiffany.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yeah. So we had them
Yep.
on not too long ago.
Yeah.
That place,
Yep.
I thought this place was awesome. We had a good time there.
the
Really good.
tavern is amazing,
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. Beautiful historic building, and a lot of who's who has gone through there over the
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
That was Patrick Henry is first and foremost kind of associated with the place, but you also have individuals like Washington and Lafayette went through the area. It was
Poe and Poe's mother both went through the area when they were traveling.
Right.
yep,
Wow.
and
Charles Dickens, that was my favorite.
Yep. And it did feature prominently. There was a major Civil War battle just down the road there as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
it's been a crossroads of history for a good long time. And so we consider ourselves fortunate to be friends of theirs and be able to help support the tavern.
Yeah. That's
Sure,
awesome.
it sure has.
That's
It sure
awesome.
has. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure. I have been to Richmond, just once though, just passed through, and I have seen the Poe Museum at the Stone, right? The building
Yes.
that's like
The old
stone.
stone house.
okay.
Yeah.
The old
Yep.
stone
Old-
house. Okay.
Old Stone House, the oldest building in Richmond.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Yes. I feel like
Is
you guys
Poe's
have a lot of
house-
child ghosts. In all the
Yes and
stories
no.
I've read.
You have to remember that being an industrial town with a lot of old warehouse activity with the tobacco warehouses, child labor before it became illegal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
a lot of that around. Plus, we had several different pandemics, which took a lot of children, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. I was going to show you better
for
again.
sure.
So if anybody in the audience is interested, this is what you want to go to.
That's
Okay.
the Poe Museum?
No, that's Bellevue Elementary School. It sits on the
Oh.
site of the Union spy mistress Elizabeth Van Loo.
Oh,
That's where her
wow.
house used to be.
She's like my hero.
Oh, she's amazing.
Absolutely astounding what she managed to accomplish. Certainly wasn't intending to become the grand spy mistress that she became, but she was very good at it.
She was amazing at it. And she's actually featured in the women's section up in the International Spy Museum in DC.
Wow.
And she should be.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about her? I'm fascinated by her story. I mean, I'm a little bit of, I think I have an activist heart myself. So,
she grew up with, of course, mom, dad, brother, sister. They were all originally from Philadelphia on her mother's side, Quakers out of Philadelphia. They were business merchants here in town, very well to do. When Elizabeth was of age, she was set off to finishing school up in Philadelphia, stayed with her Quaker family, and had a lot of abolitionist teachers. And they all solidified her belief that humans don't own other humans. That's just not done. When she came home, she would argue with her father about this because the family did own a plantation and they owned slaves that both serviced the plantation and the house. In fact, Maggie Walker was born in her house. She was one of the first African-American bank presidents. Originally, we thought she was the first, but it came to light about 3 months earlier. Somebody in Texas won. So second. But
her house here in Richmond is actually
part of the
National Park Service
yeah.
now maintains it. It's considered a major landmark here in town.
But back to Elizabeth, when her father passes away, the brother takes over the plantation. Her mother and herself stay at the house. Her sister has married and basically turned her back on the family. When the war starts, the family's pressured into doing something for the cause, even though they're Northern supporters. So what her mother and herself decide to do is they were going to volunteer as nurses for Libby Prison, which also had a hospital in it. They were turned away by a Captain Todd, who was actually Mary Todd Lincoln's half-brother. And she decided that she was not going to take no for an answer. So Elizabeth went to General Winder, who was in charge of Richmond at the time, walked out of that meeting with a note that said that Miss Van Loo may do as she pleases in our prisons and hospitals. So he gave her carte blanche. Now, she's not going to take that and go back and rub it in Captain Todd's face. No, she goes home, she grabs some buttermilk, she grabs a freshly baked peach cobbler, and then she goes down to visit Captain Todd because, you know, the best way to soften him up is to feed him something he's not going to have.
That's right.
And so she does that and then hands him the card and she gets access to the soldiers. Now, anytime that he was starting to get a little suspicious of her, she'd go back and bring him some more baked goods and buttermilk and soften him up again. The woman knew how to work her audience, basically. It comes to light after the war that she actually had a man on the inside. Erasmus Ross was considered the most brutal guard at Libby Prison. And when he took a prisoner for questioning, that prisoner was never seen again. What he was doing was giving the prisoner a Confederate uniform, taking the new recruit up to Van Loo's house to do the weekly search up there, and then leaving the new recruit up there in her hidey holes that she would use to hide runaway slaves and, escaping Union soldiers, that sort of thing, until she could get them across Union lines. Her network was so good that she could get a newspaper to General Grant within 24 hours from Richmond.
Yeah, it's also worth noting she actually had a woman in the White House of the Confederacy as well. Mm-hmm. She had a friend, African-American woman that had been
basically her playmate growing up. Mary had a photographic memory.
Yeah, Mary Bowser. She wanted being a freed slave.
Yep.
But then Elizabeth got her to effectively volunteer to come back, pose as a slave again, and managed to get her stationed in the White House of the Confederacy.
And she was a maid of all work, so she could be seen in any room at any time. The Davises didn't think any of their slaves could read or write, so they would leave documents out. Mary would look at it, it being printed on her memory. She could recreate it and get it out to Elizabeth.
So
the bravery. I mean,
it's really astounding.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have her house anymore. When they needed a new school, the city ended up owning the property at that point in time. And let's just say Richmonders have a long memory of those who went against them during the Civil War. And they tore down her house and put up a school, which is actually appropriate because Elizabeth was always a proponent for education for all. So that's an appropriate thing to put on her property. And she's still there today. She's known as Miss Lizzie in the school. So
so they see her.
The staff sees her, the students will see her. She's very helpful, especially to the new kids. This is a K-5 school. And when the children get lost, she will actually bring them back to the front office. And she'll be described as wearing leather pants and a big floppy hat. And the front desk staff just says, "That's Miss Lizzie. If you ever see her again, you thank her."
Oh my gosh.
Wild.
That gives me chills. I don't know if this isn't as professional as I'd like it to be, but I actually do have a picture of her if you want to see her.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do. Closer. Cool. Nice curls.
Truly a remarkable woman.
I'm
but
telling you, I'm
assembled into that
I-
almost.
I
Yeah.
devoured that story when I read about it. Like she's just incredible. What a heroine.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. You sent me some pictures. I'm going to go through them so you can tell us what they are and stuff. Kim, if any of these pictures that you went through, just let me, if you want to run, do
Yeah.
your.
Sure. Yeah, I did.
Do your
I
thing.
did a reading of 3 different pictures, 3 different
Okay.
buildings.
All
So
right.
when we
So
get to them,
if you come across any, you let me know, and just let me know which one it's on.
sure.
So I don't think
I
was that one of them.
don't think this is.
No,
one of
I don't
them.
think that was not one of them.
No, that was
So
one of the
Okay.
ones I sent.
yep, that's Mason's Hall. So Mason's Hall stands in the
Okay.
Shakabana neighborhood. It's the oldest continuously operating Masonic lodge in the Americas. It's been there
wow.
since 1785 and has been used for Masonic purposes since its inception and continues to be used as such today.
It does have a
Wow.
Poe connection. It's where Eliza Poe gave her final concert, where she was raising money to basically treat her tuberculosis. Edgar also has been here at least twice that we know of. He would have been here when her concert was given. He does come back as a teenager when Lafayette does his anniversary tour of the Battle of Yorktown. Lafayette specifically requests for Poe to be part of his honor guard because Poe's grandfather was Lafayette's quartermaster during the war, and he wants that connection. And we do believe that Poe gave a reading of the Raven here later, but they have not been able to actually prove it finally with a primary source document.
Yeah, but they do think that place is incredibly haunted. They think that they have 23.
Sure.
23 ghosts and counting.
Yeah, they think they have 23,
23.
unique
So
spirits there.
specific.
Yeah, and well,
Wow.
they've had a few investigations over the years, and based on the investigations and the experiences of the brothers, it seems to point to
At least 23 unique personalities.
yes, and some of them actually make physical appearances, so people have seen some of these entities, and others again are just kind of very unique in their style of haunting, which leads them to think that that's kind of what they've honed in on is about 23.
That's
Yeah.
for not a natural disaster or like a fire or a collapse. Like 23 is a lot.
It was a hospital twice. It was a hospital
Okay,
during
a
the Civil
hospital.
War, and it was a
Okay.
hospital during the War of 1812. It was a tuberculosis hospital at that point in time.
Okay.
That
But-
explains a little
So
bit more.
people,
Yeah,
people died there.
But I also find these groups, these houses, because we investigated a Mason Lodge before. Was it a Mason
Yeah.
Lodge? Yeah. And the feeling in there is like it's a group gathering, and the people that are really involved in the group part of it definitely choose to have continue their experience there because they have such a good connection with the brotherhood, basically, with it.
Yeah,
So
we
I
definitely
do
have-
find Masonic
We-
Lodge is very, very haunted.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and no, sir, get him off of there.
Yep, I will.
Sorry, he's eating something he shouldn't.
It's okay.
We have a mixture of residual and interactive hauntings in this building, and one of them is actually the original caretaker, Uncle Josh. And this is an example of one who wants to continue his connection because he was a freed African American post the Civil War, but he was loved so much that actually in the brothers' notes from the meetings, he's referred to as Brother Josh. And at that time, that was illegal.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that they wrote that down is very significant. And when he retired, they actually bought him a house for him and his family to live in so that they would be secure. So I'm not surprised he's returned back here to take care of the place that viewed him as an equal.
Yep.
Mhm.
And,
Of course.
the formation of that particular haunting is they hear the footsteps on the upper floors of the building, the jingling of old style keys,
Like the old iron ring keys.
Yep, and
Yeah.
also from the outside, they'll sometimes see the what looks like a candelabra moving from room to room upstairs, which is what he would have needed to use to light his way while securing the building at night. So that's why they think it's Uncle Josh up there on those upper floors locking up in the evening.
Love it.
But
Super cool.
yeah, my personal favorite is actually one of there's a little boy that's there as well, and the little boy, he was the son of one of the Masons, and this particular story dates to the era of the War of 1812, when there was tuberculosis rampaging through the city as well. The brother winds up contracting tuberculosis and passes away. The boy, left orphaned, is collectively adopted by the brothers at the lodge. So he spends basically all his time there, but unfortunately, he too winds up developing tuberculosis and passes away at Mason's Hall. And to this day, investigators, the brothers will sometimes encounter him on the first floor of the building. They'll walk into the room and they'll see this child kind of in period clothing over in the corner playing with the ball, and he'll look up and he'll recognize you and he'll say, "Oh, it's okay, the brothers let me play here," as if he recognizes the fact that he's a little out of place there in the lodge.
Yeah.
And he'll take the ball, he'll roll it across the floor, and before the ball gets to you, as you're watching it, the ball will disappear. And then when you look up, the child is no longer there either. So he is still there, lingering on to this day. And he's also popped in on some audio recordings as well from paranormal investigators.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got another
Cool.
picture here. I want to go through some of these pictures.
That was one of the ones that I sent you.
And that is right around the block from us.
So
it's not
really?
one of the ones Kim read.
No,
Yes.
I did not read this one. Nope.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can tell us all the history on this.
All right. That is the home of Elmira Royster Shelton, who was Edgar Allan Poe's first and last love. They grew up
wow.
as children. They grew up in what was the near west end of Richmond, very close to one another, and kind of they were playmates. They developed a little bit of like puppy love as children, and then as they grew into teenagers, it really became genuine love. They were effectively engaged to be married, but Edgar was not considered to be an appropriate suitor to Elmira because, well, Edgar was on his way to making a living as a writer, and which was unheard of in that era. And he was also the orphan child of an actor and an actress, which actors and actresses of 2+ centuries ago, people love to go to the theater and watch a show, but you did not rub elbows with the actors and actresses. They were amongst the lowest of the low of society. So Edgar had a lot going against him in that sense.
So this was Poe's blues house.
Yes. Yep. So to kind of cut to the chase, Edgar goes off to university. His would-be father-in-law conspires to convince Elmira that Edgar has abandoned her. She goes off, marries somebody else. Edgar eventually winds up marrying his cousin Virginia. They both go through the next probably a couple of decades of their life, 15, 20 years. They both wind up widowed, both wind up back in Richmond. At that point in time, Elmira was living in that house up here on Church Hill with her 2 surviving children. They had 4. 2 of the children had passed away, unfortunately, but her and the 2 children were living there, and Edgar, shows up basically on the doorstep one day and reintroduces himself. They start hanging out again and effectively get engaged to be married again.
Oh my God, it's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it doesn't end that well, though.
Until you get to the ending.
Sounds like a Hollywood movie.
It very much is. It's not a happy ending. So Edgar ends up believing they're engaged, takes his fateful trip in September of 1849 and goes to Baltimore. He's supposed to catch a steamer in Baltimore to go up to Philadelphia for a job interview, and then he's picking up his former mother-in-law, Maria Clem, to bring her back down for the wedding. But we all know what happens in Baltimore. He ends up in the gutter, incoherent, somebody else's clothes is on his body, and he ends up dying a few days later. There's a lot of unknown about how he died. We do know that it was not rabies because they were able to test for that, but they did discover a normal amount of lead in his body for the time period.
Oh, wow.
One of the theories is that it might have been Elmira's brothers roughing him up to scare him away. Others think it has been cooping, which was a voting scam at the time, which would explain the other clothing.
Yeah, if during election time, if you were on the road and you happen to roll into a bar or something like that, there might be a chance you'd encounter some ruffians with political agendas who would go ahead. They would start plying you with liquor, get you drunk, take you to the polls, get you to vote under somebody's name, take you away, get you more drunk, change your clothes, take you back to the polls, and get you to vote again under somebody else's name
Until you couldn't stand anymore or talk anymore.
So,
and then they dumped you.
So given Edgar's incoherency and the wearing somebody else's clothes, and it was also found relatively close to a polling location, we think that's what happened to him. That's like our leading theory, but
there's over 40 theories out there. The Poe Museum actually has an exhibit about it.
Yeah.
I guess they still do that.
Mm.
Some of these guys in office these days.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it is to get away with it these days, but it's not quite like what it used to be. But poor Edgar unfortunately passed away at the age of 40.
I'm sorry, I don't know the story. So he died from injuries or he died from intoxication?
We don't really know.
Unknown. He was incoherent when he was found, taken to the hospital, and ultimately never became really lucid again and passed away several days later.
Having lead in your body doesn't help.
No,
but you were eating off of lead plates at the time, and all of the piping was lead. So when they tested his hair,
you could have intake lead, and it just stays in your body. And then as more you take in, it just gathers, and then it catch you later on. But
who knows?
It doesn't.
It's a mystery, which is fitting. That's fitting
they did actually test his hair, but it was considered normal for the amount at the time and okay in your body at that point.
And see that question there. Edgar passed away. It was
1849.
1849, October of 1849. So
right.
So
so what happened to her? I gotta know.
Did she
die of a broken heart?
Yeah, there was a broken heart. But she was asked about the supposed engagement, and she actually vehemently denied it.
No.
Now
that was earlier in our life.
Yep. Why would she do that? Well, there was a little thing that would not fly today, but her late husband had left a stipulation in his will that if she were to ever get remarried, she would lose 3/4 of her inheritance.
And that was also the children's inheritance.
Yeah. I guess the angle, the way they would try to present that is that it was intended to keep away predatory suitors, but yeah, it was still basically her money that would have been taken away. So yeah, I take that with a grain of salt. So she did deny this right up until the end of her life. She ultimately does recant on her deathbed. And also when the family does get a hold of her journals and diaries, she did write extensively about her being engaged to Edgar again. So she never did remarry at all. Edgar was kind of the last chance, and that never happened. So
yeah. What's unique about these two is they actually haunt in 2 locations in the city
together.
So they're seen as their older selves at Elmira's house. So it's kind of the second courting, but their first courting or their first sightings are their younger selves back when they were children over at Linden Row Inn in the gardens there, because that's where they actually would court as children.
Oh, that is interesting. I can't think of another instance where I've seen, I've heard of like spirits in 2 different incarnations together.
Like, Edgar gets around up and down the East Coast.
Yeah, if it's to
be
believe,
but I mean, as a couple.
As a couple, right?
No.
Yes, you have a young Edgar and older Edgar, but both of them together is the first and only time I've ever heard that.
Very unique. You're right. I haven't heard of any particular haunting like that anywhere else.
No.
But Edgar does apparently fly solo all over the place. They got sightings of him in a couple different places in Baltimore,
Down in Charleston, where he
Yes.
served a stint in the military, up
Fort-
in New York.
Yep, New York, Fort Monroe here in Virginia, where he did a stint in the military. Well, he was there in the military as well. So there's a lot of places that like to try to claim Edgar's spirit, but we like to think here in Richmond, we kind of got a little bit of a leading claim, if you will. Edgar
Sure.
did consider himself a Richmonder above all else. He lived here more than anywhere else in his life. About a third of his life he spent here in Richmond, including his most formative years as a youth, living here with first with his mother, but she passed away when he was 3, and then he spent the time thereafter with the Allen family as he grew up and eventually was old enough to go off to college. So yeah, he considered himself a Richmonder. He lived here, worked here, and it was the last place that he lived before that fateful trip to Baltimore, where he ultimately passed away at the age of 40. So we got our claim to him.
Hey,
Yeah,
he
I
traveled by Raven and found his love and had a telltale heart.
Well, we hope there's no beating heart in that building. It is for rent, though.
I'm sure.
Oh, sure.
Is it?
Yep.
Let's go do it. Let's go rent the building with a beating heart in it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the
Now,
last
was-
resident moved out a few months ago, but anyways.
Oh,
Now,
cool.
was
This
that
is
building preserved? Because obviously it's a town, it's a row house. It was a part of a whole row house there. Was that one preserved because of its relations?
Actually,
or-
that was always an individual home. It wasn't part of a row house at all. Yeah, but
I
the
know.
the historical society here in town actually, the Preservation Society here in town actually used it as their headquarters for a while and restored it, and that's why we still have it.
So that was
back
back
in
I come down by you. This kind of tour.
Beautiful
I'm gonna do.
house.
Yeah,
That's
this
Oh,
is
it's
beautiful
absolutely
house.
gorgeous. Yeah, I've
Gorgeous.
yet to had the opportunity to go inside of it because it is rented out as a private residence today. It's not a place that's open for tours, unfortunately. But yeah, it's beautiful from the outside. It has wonderful grounds around it, and I'd love to be able to get inside of it one day.
Well,
You're like
if
at
we
the
ever win
window
that lottery.
like this.
This
Put
is
it out
one
in
of
the
the tours
universe.
I would like. Oh, no, that's not it. Where is it? This one.
Yes. So we
I'm
we
about to go on this.
yeah, so I did mention we got some good friends around town, and that is me there on the right. We
my
do
gosh.
partner with some of the other
Excellent.
tour companies, and so we partner with RVA
cool.
on Wheels and offer a Segway Ghost Tour.
Cool.
Yep, yeah, we've been doing this.
That
for,
is
for-
amazing.
We've been offering this for about a half a year now.
Yep.
And it's one of those things. It's a lot of fun. I was actually the first time I had never been on a Segway before we started planning to do this partnership tour, and they're stupid fun.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
They,
I love
they're
it.
yeah.
Anthony,
Now-
no. Anthony, just no. Just no.
You need
Not
like
Anthony.
a little.
No.
You need like a little leadership flag, like on the back of it, so
Yeah.
everybody has to follow you. Like,
Follow
you're the
me.
face.
Follow me on it. You have it on his back. You like on a shirt. On the back
Yeah.
of the
No.
shirt.
Oh my gosh, that's
Follow
great.
me. That is so awesome. I could use this on investigation, guys. My knees, the way
Oh,
my
no.
knees, my legs are now, I can zip around faster.
You
So
could.
the one unfortunate thing about this is that
They can't go at night.
the clock is ticking on them.
Yeah.
Because the company that makes Segway went out of business about 4 or 5 years ago now. And so
Really?
as the Segway population, if you will, starts to continues to age, that's basically becoming impossible to get replacement parts for them. And eventually they're going to age out. And once they age out, that's that. So
Now you
we
have
do
the
have-
e-cycles and a
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where we go
exactly.
next.
So get on them
Right.
now.
Yeah. If you want to get on a Segway, whether it's here or anywhere for that matter, I can't imagine that on probably maybe another 5 years tops, and we
Mhm.
might see the end of Segways. But we do the RVA on Wheels also does e-bikes, so we figure that when it does come to that time where there's not enough segues for the tours anymore, we will keep working with them because they've been good partners with us so far, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with them and be able to provide those tours on wheels, if you will. Which, on that note, we also have a partnership with our RVA Tuk Tuk. One of our guides is a driver for them, and if you don't know what if you don't know what a tuk tuk is, think of something that looks roughly like a golf cart, except
It can carry 6 people.
yeah, the
Right.
driver's up front and 6 people sit in the back, and they buzz around town in these tuk tuks.
And hope not to die.
Could you send me a picture of one of those?
I unfortunately I did not. Now that I mention it, I think we got it on the website, but I did not actually put that in the block of photos that I sent you. Unfortunately.
Okay, I think I got. Wait a minute.
So
Let's
fun.
see. Right there, isn't that it?
Yep, that's a
it.
tuk tuk.
That's a tuk tuk right there.
Oh, looks
me
very
get it with you.
Italian.
Yeah,
cool.
it's actually inspired though from
India.
or
Thai- like
Southeast Asia.
Asia.
Thailand
yeah.
and-
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I've been in some in Guatemala and Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
but the color scheme.
yep.
That's so cool.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's tuk tuk right there. RVA tuk tuk.
That's so. I mean,
RV tuk tuk.
again, the bingo card, tuk tuk. Got it.
Tuk
What?
tuk.
I don't know.
Burlesque.
I think we
Tuk
should
tuk.
start a
That's so
bingo
cool.
card. I think we
Yeah.
I
should
like
start
what's on the left here. You know, the Guinness and the Smith with.
See what he looks at.
Smittix.
Yeah.
Guinness
So
is
yeah,
one of my
we
favorites.
do have good
Yeah,
working
let's
relationships with a lot of bars and restaurants here in town.
Nice.
So cool. He is a
Good. We like bars and restaurants.
This is that building in the background looks wild.
That
That
is
is the Jefferson Hotel built by Louis Ginter.
so. Louis Ginter was he earned and lost 3 fortunes, and the 4th fortune was the one that stuck. He was in the tobacco industry in the late 1800s,
Okay.
and
He popularized the rolling cigarette machine. So that's
Oh,
what
wow.
helped make him a fortune.
yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
once he made his fortune, he branched out and decided that he wanted to build a hotel. And lo and behold, we got the Jefferson back in 1895.
That's good. And what's in here? There must be some sort of spirits in this.
Well, let's just say I just creeped out Jason Isaacs this weekend by telling him that it was haunted.
Really?
Another
Yeah.
Jefferson
Adam-
Hotel.
Yeah, so he was actually in town for a con, and I was getting his signature, and he saw my shirt and ghost stories. He was like, "Okay, hit me." So I quickly talked about Poe, and I was like, "Hey, you're staying at the Jefferson, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "No." Oh shoot. I was like, "Do you want to be able to sleep, or do you want one thing?" He goes, "One thing."
Mhm.
So
No.
there are 2 bars / restaurants in this building. The one that's off to the right, where you see the light up trees right above the gentleman with the white hat, that's where La Mer is. That's their nicer restaurant.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Not haunted though. You want to go to the one that's down below in the original part of the welcoming area of the building, and that's called TJ's. The bar down there, occasionally when the bartenders will reach for glasses, they will shatter right in front of them if the ghost
wow.
doesn't care for the drink.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The Adam that showed that another Jefferson, he has one that he goes to in
Texas.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, we
think-
had him on the show also with that hotel.
And,
was it
and
Louisiana?
that was his,
Was it Louisiana?
location.
Yep.
Texas.
But yeah, named after Thomas Jefferson, and there's actually a lovely statue of Thomas Jefferson in the lobby at the Jefferson Hotel here in Richmond. So
The Jefferson was actually once known for having live alligators in its
Wow.
atrium area. And the
Again.
last one,
Bingo card. Live alligator.
the last one's name was Old Pompey, and he died in 1969, was it? It was in the 60s.
I have to
Um,
look it up.
Pompey.
So
How
when you
old
go
are they?
in-
Kim's a veterinarian. How long do they live?
Alligator?
Um,
I have no idea.
Oh,
She
No
never
clue.
Yeah.
did put a physical, you know?
You will see an alligator motif inside the building and bronze statues of alligators everywhere.
Random.
Did they
Alligators
make like
fly.
shoes
Yeah,
out of
they
them
do.
and have like alligator
Why?
burgers and stuff?
As far as I know, no.
No, they were effectively kept as pets.
Pets.
Wow.
It started with there was somebody that brought an alligator as a pet to the Jefferson and
Dumped it.
and abandoned it in one of the fountains.
Wow.
And yeah, and that
Yeah.
became a thing, and they started keeping alligators at the Jefferson,
Yeah.
and they did so
It's
for
not April
crazy.
Fool's Day
it
today.
was
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what?
at least 40, 50
Maybe.
years.
Lemonade with lemons.
Yeah,
I honestly am
mean,
surprised they don't have an alligator ghost,
Sure.
but not that we know
I
of.
was just gonna say, is there an alligator ghost? You read
I
That'd be
wish.
Beth.
Gosh.
Yeah, you
Oh.
go over, you come back with a big bite out of your arm. What got me?
So
The
what are
ghost.
the haunts there? What is besides the breaking glasses at the
So that building has burned twice. Once right after it originally opened, there was no deaths with that one. The second burning happened in 1945, and there were 7 deaths with that one, including a former Virginia First Lady. She is actually
Oh my
seen on the
goodness.
5th floor. And she's seen in the evening gown that she was wearing that night, just floating down the hallway on the 5th floor. Everybody thinks she looks so elegant until they realize that there's nothing below her knees.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And also on those upper
Wow.
floors of the hotel, they have had in some of the guest rooms weird activity with the lights turning on and off. So much so to the point that on a couple of occasions, guests have just said they've had enough and they've gotten up and checked out at 3 a.m, which
And gone to the airport, which isn't open until 5.
yeah. But and
Oh,
then as
wow.
Beth mentioned, the poltergeist activity down in TJ's, which I like to think that that is related to major renovation that they did at the hotel, because that picture, what you're looking at there is now the current front entrance of the hotel. But that originally wasn't like that. The original main entrance was basically entirely on the opposite side of the building.
You can actually look up a picture of Elvis
Oh.
checking in at the Jefferson, and you'll see what the
wow.
original looks like. And that's actually where the bar is today downstairs.
But where
Okay.
the main entrance is today now, and they have that whole car turnaround area and whatnot, there was actually a beautiful house there known as the
Captain Anderson Archer House.
Yep. And the Archer House was in its last few years of existence actually owned by Virginia Commonwealth University and was used for student housing. And the students there would report having unusual run-ins with an unhappy entity, and it seemed that Captain Archer
Yeah, Captain Archer.
Captain Archer was unhappy about his house being taken over for student housing. And
sure.
so that went on for a couple of years. Eventually, VCU turns it over. The Jefferson acquires it, ultimately has it demolished so they can do this big renovation and move things around. And where TJ's is today was the original front desk of the hotel. And so what I think happened is that a part of this whole renovation, moving things around and demolishing that old haunted house, I think that the spirits said, well, we're not done here yet, and that they moved in to TJ's, the new restaurant that was placed at the old front desk area, because that's when the stories of all
Right.
this unhappy activity and the poltergeist type activity start to kick up in that part of the hotel.
Okay.
That's my
Gotcha.
theory. I have no way to
That's pretty
prove that,
cool.
but that's my theory.
It's a good
Where do you
theory.
get where do you get your stories? Do you get them firsthand? Are you looking
Um,
in written
it-
records? Or
It's
how
a
are you getting them?
mixture. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mixture. We'll look at historical documents. Newspapers are a wonderful wealth of information
Oh, amen.
because,
Yeah,
again, they
they
used to
are.
print the ghost stories. But then you make friends with the workers, security, maintenance. Those are the first ones you're going to want to go to because they're going to know the ins and outs of everything that's going on. In a hotel, talk to the concierges, talk to the wait staff because, again, they'll know
Right.
everything that's going on.
Now,
Right.
I will take a big caveat there. The Jefferson does not necessarily endorse the ghost stories.
Yeah.
So the current employees there aren't going to be quite so open to talking about it. But
Okay.
we have met many a person that has been a previous employee of the Jefferson Hotel, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, the place is totally haunted." And so we've gotten quite a few stories out of them, and of course also from people that have stayed there as well.
Yeah. So
I
one of our guys,
can understand that.
one of our guys' sibling used to work there, and he would let us know when things were happening in TJ's and that sort of thing. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Nice.
play one of
And
Kim, I want to put one of your things on. I want to start putting
Sure.
okay. I'm going to start with you have
I know it's already 9 o'clock.
keeps us
Brick
on
House.
Yeah,
because we're
yeah,
going
because
to
believe me,
we're off at 10
we can
o'clock,
talk for 5
9/11.
hours.
Somebody's got to keep us on track. We could do this all night long.
I know.
I
So
kid
could
you not.
we. So could
If
we.
we didn't have a timer, we'd be on here right
I'm going to
now.
put it to Chris and I'm going to put it to Chris and Beth. So I read a big white building with like 2 trees next to it, black and whitish photo. There was another photo of a brick building with black shutters, white trim. And then the other one had like a parakeet pathway outside of it. It had like the black and white checkered. So any of those that you would like to kind of go into next? Because
Let's start with the black and white checker.
Which one is that?
Black and white checker.
That's going to be Miss Ellen's.
Well,
Okay, well, you can do that,
Okay.
Kim, since you got it.
Okay, I
You
think
go
this is it.
first, then.
I'll turn it off if I'm not. I'm calling these all Capitol buildings. I didn't know we were in Richmond, by the way. I don't even know if Richmond is the capital of Virginia. But,
It is.
Perfect. Oh my God, I feel so dumb sometimes. But we'll go to this photo next. This photo next with a tan building. And this actually kind of feels like a courthouse to me. Kind of feels like a courthouse or a prison. I do feel like there would be structures in here that would be remembering something about a courthouse. And again, like lawful things happening here. A D name is coming up. And this is another gentleman of his time. I'm being drawn to this window here. And I'm seeing somebody looking out at it. Feels like a man. I don't think it's the man of the house. I feel like it might be the help or a servant. He would be in charge. He's almost like the bodyguard, kind of. He would be in charge of like who would be able to come in and see. He's saying his master. Who would be coming in to be able to see his master if they weren't. So I don't know if there were some like sketchy bank issues going on or if this was a major financial man. But he's telling me, he's demonstrating to me that he would be very aware of what's coming into this house and out of this house. This gentleman does feel like guarding, meaning people who go into this house may actually have a little bit more of a negative sensation, a negative feeling in this house, a presence that would be following you because he's still like very in charge of who comes in and who comes out. It's not for him, it's for who he works for. The guns that he would have, rifles and handguns, he would have kicked people out or had to kick people out. He doesn't feel like a very friendly spirit as he's looking out. He's even like looking at these people on the street here and he's like, yeah, you can stay out there, but like you can't come in. I am not allowing you to come in here. Different things. I'm getting bank and I'm also getting prison. Could be both.
Wow.
Feel free to.
Okay, so
correct.
All right, so
let us know, what is the location, first
this
of
is
all?
Ellen
Yeah.
Glasgow's house. She was a Pulitzer Prize winning authoress from 1944. Yes. And there are 3 entities in this building, Ellen being one of them, but there's also her butler, which is, I think, who you were trying to pick up on. But I also think you also picked up on her maid. The maid would sit by the door and would be the one who would let people in and out. And she's the very protective one. If you don't pronounce Ellen's last name correctly, she actually makes you leave.
I'd be kicked out in 2 seconds.
Oh, he'd be gone.
She knew that entity knew everything. Who was coming in? Like nobody got in without her getting by her first, or this entity first. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah.
So now a couple things that I guess interesting parallels. There, we haven't necessarily had ghost stories that exactly tie into that, but the location is relatively close to where the Virginia State Pen once stood. That was relatively close by. And Ellen's father actually worked at Tredegar Ironworks.
As a high level management. So he might have had people there that were bodyguard type people.
Yep, but that would have been back in the late 1800s is when the family moved into that house.
And Ellen's brother was known to carry guns as well. He unfortunately shot himself. But we don't think he's actually there most of the time.
We haven't had any stories that seem to be his presence.
Yeah, her presence is much stronger in the house.
And her interactions are a bit of a mixed bag. Usually she's kind of I'd say usually just kind of chill, hanging out, doing her thing.
Letting you know it's still her house.
Yeah. They have heard her
Well, fair enough.
in the upstairs space that she used as her office. They've heard the old typewriter still going.
She was actually in the middle of writing her last novel when she passed away. So she's probably written several ghost novels since then.
Yep. But there were
Ghost novels.
There have been periods where people have had rather negative encounters with her because the neighborhood around her house, particularly right across the street, has basically been demolished.
Yeah.
It's now across the street from her. It's now all parking lots versus the beautiful homes that she would have been very, very familiar with. And the
shame.
work, yeah, it really is. But the work crews that were actively working on the demolition of the house across the street would see her staring out the window at them, scowling at them, making her displeasure known at what was going on in her neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the spirits there at Ellen's house, a little bit of a mixed bag. The butler and the maid are, still kind of doing their job, holding down the fort. They mean business, but they're not necessarily going to be outright nasty to you unless you step out of line. And Ellen is it's Ellen's house. I mean, it's still Ellen's house. She passed away about 80 years ago now, but undeniably still her house.
Wow.
Awesome.
And the
Nice.
brother shot himself in the house?
No, elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that could be your connection with guns. He did usually carry one.
Wow.
He
And,
wasn't
and
too good with it, was he? Till he shot himself.
I'm sorry.
He wasn't so good with guns.
yeah, but
Oh,
Tredegar
Anthony.
Ironworks was a major armory producer, so there was a fair bit of firearms rolling out of Tredegar.
Yeah.
So having an association between guns and that particular house, not necessarily directly with Miss Ellen, but with her father in particular.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm.
Wow. What is one of her books? Do you recall the title?
Well, the one that she won the Pulitzer Prize for was In This Our Life.
It was actually made into a movie, but completely obscured World War II going on.
Yep. But I'm
Perfect.
blanking on other names off the top of my head. We have a
This
couple.
our
We do
life.
have a couple of them.
And yeah, I didn't even think to they're upstairs in the office, of course. But
No.
yeah,
That's
yeah, but she was a rather prolific writer through her life. She mostly stuck to novels. She kind of considered herself above doing
Here we go. So The
articles.
Deliverance, Barren Ground are two of them. In This Our Life was written in 1941. So the
Yeah.
movie was 1944.
Yes.
What was it about? Just real quick. I'm just curious if you picked up on anything from the book. You never know.
I actually have not read this one.
Yeah, I have to admit, because that's not
Let's
one
check.
that
We'll
we
check
have.
it out later.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one I cannot find.
And if you do find one of her books, grab it. They are long since out of print.
Okay.
So they are basically, when they do show up, it's kind of in rare books or somebody
Library sales. That's
Li-
how I found mine.
yeah, somebody doesn't know
Oh,
what they're
nice.
giving
Really?
up in a used book or something like that. So they can be rather difficult to come across.
Okay.
But yeah, and even if you don't buy it for yourself, we'll be happy to go ahead and compensate you for it.
I gotcha. If we, oh, trust me, if we see it, we'll donate it to you.
Awesome.
That's great.
So, Kim, you want to play another one?
Sure. Okay, so yeah, which one of the other two do you want to do next, guys? The
Let's do
white-
the shutter one,
okay.
the black shutter one.
Yeah, this
Black
one's a
shutter.
little bit of a longer video. It's about 3.5 minutes, so just bear with me.
Of
Okay.
course.
I try to keep them short. So I'm going to be doing another reading today of some pictures for our guests. Really excited about these historical locations. Chose these three. I'm going to start with this picture here. Where I really want to go with this is federal. Federal. That's kind of all they're saying with this. This structure does feel quite original. Well, not the front porch, but I feel like this is quite an original building. Meaning that even when you go inside, I do feel like this is preserved inside, meaning that this would either be a museum or, I don't know, there's something very preserved about the inside. It's very simple on the inside, and they would have, I don't know, there's very large rooms with like very tall ceilings in this building. I don't feel like they knocked a lot of walls down from what it originally was built at the time. So I'm sitting on the porch, right? I actually feel like I'm an old gentleman sitting on the porch. I want to put myself, gosh, into the 80s. Possibly even 90s as this old gentleman. He seems quite refined, meaning that I don't even know if he might even have a British accent, actually. He might have a British accent or some English accent. Very, very proper gentleman that came over in the founding or original group to America. And he's sitting on this deck, and I do believe people would see him as a spirit in this house. And he's sitting there, and I feel like he's smoking a pipe, so you may smell smoke with this gentleman. And he's just like watching the decades go by. Street is still like one of the original streets in this town, this big town. If I'm not in Philadelphia, PA, kind of has that feeling of Philadelphia, PA. It could be into Virginia or Washington, like Washington, D.C. kind of area, Virginia. It's like one of those like almost capital cities, like either Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., or I don't even know if I know the capital of Virginia. Anyway, one of those bigger city, capital though. He's showing me this reel of all the changes in the area. So I'm seeing that this at one point in time was quite bustling. This would be back into the 1700s, 1800s, very bustling. I'm seeing women in dresses walking up and down the street with the black boots. I'm seeing carriages. I mean, this was like a bustling area. And he just watched all this. So, because he died in the early 1800s, would be my feeling about this. And he is just watching time go by. The structure really hasn't changed much, but there's been quite this busyness, changing, turnover all around this structure. I even feel like there might even be a plantation or some sort of he's saying peach tree or peach field or something like that, a fruit tree field nearby or was nearby, and that's been removed. You would be welcome in his house, and he's very intellectual, meaning that he would love to just sit down with you. Very fascinating gentleman, very literate. I see him writing furiously. A lot. I mean, like 24/7, almost writing furiously. So if this is not writing a book, this would be writing documents, like maybe legal documents, but I'm just seeing him writing. Road is super busy. It's always been super busy. He's showing me first the walking, then the horses, then the Ford Model Ts, then the regular cars. He's showing me the whole timeline of this area, that there may be even like the history of this road in this building somehow.
Welcome to John Marshall's house.
John Marshall.
Yep, Supreme Court Justice John Marshall.
That's awesome.
So you nailed it.
Yeah, that was good. So first of all, so he did live to 79.
I know. I was like,
Yep, he was 79 years old when he passed away, and
It is a museum today.
It is a museum today. Yep, and he did live in that house for decades.
Mm-hmm. That was the house he built for his wife Polly, and they lived there the entire rest of their lives. Had 10 children there.
Oh my gosh!
Yep, it was built in 1790, right?
Mhm.
1790, and he passed away in 1835, and so he lived there for
Yeah.
45 years.
And he actually died in Philadelphia.
And
Yep.
how old was he?
Oh,
He
wow.
was 79.
79 going on 80.
80. Okay.
Yep. So,
Cool.
but yeah, so very, obviously legally oriented. He would have been writing a lot.
Wow.
Mhm.
Very federal, federally
Yeah,
minded
federal
as
is-
well, because
It's
Yeah, he
about
was
as
a
federal as you
Federalist.
get.
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty good.
Wow, Kim.
Do people
Wow.
smell like smoke with him? Do you know if he smoked? Or
I
people
don't
smell that
know.
association with him?
I have never smelled smoke in the building there. You hear the papers rustling constantly in the building. I would probably say he didn't smoke because his wife was prone to migraines and he would do anything possible to keep her from having them.
Oh wow.
Yep, going so far as to having his unfortunately he was a prolific slaveholder, and so he would have the enslaved individuals go out on the city streets and actually like lay down hay on the streets to cut
To
down
muffle the noise.
cut down on the street
Oh,
noise.
Wow.
And he would ask the churches not to ring their bells, that sort of thing.
And he was respected enough to have them. They complied because, well, he was John Marshall.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Good.
there was
Great, Kim.
something about that road. Is that road? What road is that?
It's Marshall Street now, so that they named the street right out in front after him.
It's right down the street from our city hall and our children's hospital and our main hospital. So it is a very busy street.
Yeah, very busy. And you're also right. I don't know specifically about Peaches, but his property would have been pretty expansive when he first built the house because they would have been lots of agriculture on site.
They did have another plantation location that was offsite, but they basically had an entire block that now has our court system in it.
Yeah.
So it would
Right.
have had a large garden, and they did have some orchard trees on there. I know that much.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, all of that, all the agriculture and whatnot, that's all gone at this point because the John Marshall Courthouse property now basically completely envelops it.
Yeah, he
Wow.
made me feel like kind of like Mufasa and Simba. Like this is my kingdom. Like he kind of made
It
me
is.
feel like
Right.
this,
Like,
he
all
was
this
like,
is in mine. Right.
yes, like
Yeah.
all that the light touches is
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he kind of gave me that kind of feel there.
Mufasa.
Cool. Yeah.
Very opinionated individual. He very complex individual. Of course, you got most of the founding fathers were very complex in some way, shape, or form. He, I would say, probably amongst the most complex, just in the sense that he did so much to make the Supreme Court's the third equal branch to the legislative branch and the executive branch, with some of his rulings over the years and in the way he navigated the courts in the several decades that he served as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
With the Aaron Burr treason trial being like the epitome of saying we are this
Sure.
separate entity. But at the same time, he often would rule in favor of slave owners when it would be a slave versus the owner.
Yep. In direct contradiction to some other rulings that he would have if you took race out of the equation. And so, yeah, there's that. And he, as a prolific slave owner himself, certainly a conflict of interest there as well. So the museum that's there today is very complicated. The museum does an excellent job of playing John Marshall's story from every angle, and also not just the story, but of the other people that reside there as well. Matter of fact, just last year or the year before, they rolled out what they call the urban slavery tour, which focused on basically the day-to-day life of those enslaved individuals that were working in a city setting, which is in stark contrast to what you see in so many like Hollywood depictions where it's all the plantations and them working in the fields. Working in the city, they want, the inclination is, like, at least you're not out in the fields, but it still was not a pleasant experience at all. I mean, they were still enslaved individuals, and it was very,
Still very dangerous for them.
very dangerous and
Wow.
a very abhorrent system. So they do a good job of telling all the stories that surround the John Marshall House, and it is owned and it's operated by an organization called Preservation Virginia. And if you get to look them up, because they are not just the John Marshall House, but a lot of other very unique historic sites across the state as well that they operate and help us tell the story of Virginia.
Where was the
Awesome.
Aaron Burr trial, the treason trial? Where did
It
that
was
take
here
place
in
again?
Richmond.
It was in
I
Richmond.
know what building.
Oh
It's
gosh.
in
Was it in
I
the
mean, I knew it
Capitol?
was in Richmond.
think so.
I think it was in the Capitol.
Yeah, I think
Because
it
that's
was.
where the Supreme Court was at that point in time
Yes.
Right.
So
So
that's
yeah.
my inclination.
Okay.
before the collapse. It would have
Yeah.
been on the
Oh
third
well,
floor.
yeah, because the trial was in.
Because that's one of the things
Turn
I
it
think
back.
about when I think of Richmond. I think of that
Mhm.
trial, but I didn't know if that Capitol. Yeah, I guess it would have been there for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah,
at
makes
that point in
sense.
time when the Capitol was first built, the Supreme Court was on the third floor.
Yep, and the Capitol building opened in 1788, 87, 88.
Yeah, because it first cornerstone
Yeah.
laid in 85, and it took them a couple of years to build it.
Yep.
And what trial are you talking about, Jenny?
So yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, so it was the
Yeah.
Aaron Burr treason trial.
Mhm.
Basically, prior to this trial, if you were the losing candidate for presidency, you automatically became the vice president.
Oh,
And
right.
Jefferson didn't care for this. So afterward, there became the split where you had the running mates and that sort of thing. But Jefferson never cared for Aaron Burr. He never trusted him, and he found any reason that he possibly used to say that Aaron was committing treason. Now, at this point in time, Aaron Burr actually does start to have some talks about getting land that would have been down in the New Mexico area and Texas area. And Jefferson assumes he's trying to start his own country. It's a gray area at this point in time because the letters that are offered as proof are translated hearsay. The other person that was brought in as a witness actually is dubbed improper as a witness, and so they actually can't be a witness. And Jefferson is leaning on Marshall, saying, "You will convict him of treason." Now, mind you, Burr has been let off twice before this by other states.
Other judges.
Judges. And John Marshall stands up to Jefferson and says, "No, I am following the
Yeah.
letter of the law. You don't get to say anything, Mr. President."
Yeah. Because if
Yeah.
it had gone otherwise, if Marshall had caved and convicted Burr per Jefferson's wishes, the Supreme Court, as we know it as an institution, may have completely collapsed effectively and caused a constitutional crisis. So it was
Yeah.
definitely a pivotal case. And I will say, if you want a kind of entertaining take on Aaron Burr, if you haven't done so already, go check out the musical Hamilton, because yes, it certainly doesn't tell the whole story, and
it hints at it, but you get a good idea of why they didn't like each other.
yeah, but the type of person that Burr was pretty well communicated through the musical, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
You feel
an
like that was
interesting
accurate.
character in history. Very catalytic. Like he catalyzed a lot of different dramas.
Right.
Oh
yes.
yes.
Oh yes.
Right. Like a lot of okay, yeah. I'm gonna start it. Yeah, start trouble.
His life was drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start
Interesting.
me some
He
trouble.
gets around. Cool.
Kim, you got one more.
Well,
You got
same with Hamilton.
Benjamin?
Same with Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah, play one more, Kim. You got one more left?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you want to
This one, okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Oh, it's coming. It's coming there. Hold on, my computer. Okay.
Take your
So
time.
this is that
This is the
white
third
building. I'm calling it, yeah, the third one. And there's an interesting man at the end. We'll see if this is really what he's doing.
Oh, cool.
And then this beautiful white building here. And it's interesting. The first word that wanted to come to me with this was the Freemasons, but I'm not seeing any symbols of the Freemasons, but I'm feeling the Freemasons. And I'm also feeling there's specifically a horn that is being blown. It's not a bell. It's actually a horn. I don't know what this is. It's like a horn announcement. Somebody would come out into this courtyard and have a horn announcement. This is a beautiful building, obviously preserved, historical. But why were you built here? You feel like you're built here for the capital. Again, for the capital, the law and the capital, and then the Senate is also a word that's coming up here. What I want to talk about here are footsteps. Lots of footsteps in this. I'm seeing it mostly on the third floor. And they want to talk to me about a hanging specifically. It feels like a hanging in the building or outside of this building. This is a like USA 2.0, they're saying. Like something else may have been in this place beforehand, but this was like USA 2.0. So like the second building, the second establishment of the United States of America. So like not the first things that were there, but this was like, okay, yeah, we have our Constitution, we have our this, we have our that. Now let's bring in the structures to back up this magnificent new country. I also feel like this is a college campus. I don't know why I keep getting that feeling too. There's something here about a university maybe. Okay, last thing. There is a walking man with a lantern. This may be a legend, but I'm seeing a man walking and actually walking on the sidewalk here with a lantern. The lantern is swinging. So I don't know if people report seeing a man walking with a lantern at night on the streets here or in the courtyard. They keep wanting to talk about a courtyard. Okay. It's interesting. This would be really fun to look at the history. They're talking about rodenticides, meaning I don't know if the gentleman who was out there with his light swinging around in the darkness in the corners on the streets and stuff was looking for rats, but they're telling me that that's what he was doing. He was like the rodenticide guy. Like he went out and he was hunting rodents, rats, and vermin. Basically, he was hunting the vermin. Interesting. So we're going to leave it at that. Let's go and see if any of this makes any sense to our guests tonight.
So that is the Virginia State Capitol.
That is the original portion before they added the Senate and the House wings.
And yeah, it's funny.
Do we have a
the
picture?
honing in on like the whole USA 2.0 thing. It did serve as the capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War, so there was certainly they would have established the Constitution for the Confederacy and all of that. So yeah, that's
2.0.
Yeah, yes. I'm sure they thought it was new and improved at the time. But yeah, we'll leave that at that.
Yeah.
We kind of know otherwise. But yeah, so yeah, very
All right, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but that is the current.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
okay? Yeah. Is that it? This is what we're talking about?
Yep.
That's the one. Yep.
It was actually
wow.
used in the movie
Okay.
Lincoln and also in the movie Dave for the Capitol shots.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay. And it would make sense. It looks like it.
Yes. Yeah. And they do lots of activity inside. Footsteps are really just kind of scratching the surface. It's an extremely haunted location. The
guards have always done rounds on the half an hour and on the hour. So I'm assuming before there was actually electricity out on the grounds, they would have been out there with a lantern. Probably.
Yeah, I couldn't say anything specifically about a rat catcher, but
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And there is an individual that they have seen that basically has almost free reign of the Capitol grounds, the Capitol building itself, outside the Capitol, and right next door is the executive mansion where the governor lives. There's the spirit of a butler We think that given where he is, the way he gets around, that he may have been like in direct service of the governor himself at one point in time. But something like that wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't say mistaking him for, like a rat catcher or something, but he would have covered all the bases, if you will.
Yeah.
So he's seen quite frequently all around the grounds out there.
Cool.
That's wild.
So wait, I get to have my first fun fact. You guys if you haven't seen the show, I love fun facts. Like I'm just all about the fun fact.
Oh, we're here for it.
You love it, right? I learned that the Virginia Capitol Police Department is the oldest police force in the United States.
Yes.
Commissioned in 1618, and that many of these hauntings in this building are noticed by police officers.
So the police officers, we partnered with a gentleman named Paul Hope. He wrote a book called Policing the Paranormal. When that was published, he told us that the Capitol Police officers have 4 large filing cabinets at the time that they have dubbed the X Files, because these are all things that have happened that they have recorded and they cannot explain it.
How cool. I'm so glad I picked that fun fact. Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
That's great stuff.
Yep. He's now
so how do we get access to the X Files?
I so wish.
But Paul is still a police officer today. He's moved on to different jurisdiction, but still very active in the paranormal community. He's actually a member of CPRI now. And he was at Hanover Tavern for the Paracon.
Yes, he was.
So you may have crossed paths with him at Hanover Tavern Paracon, because he was there for that.
Oh, next time we go, we got to talk to him.
Yep.
Yeah. Did he have a table or something?
No, he was just there with CPRI.
Oh, so the CPRI was right next to us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yes. So he was.
If you heard the British sounding guy, that was Paul.
He was sitting next to me. I was talking to him.
Yeah, he's originally from the Isle of Man.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
That is cool. So talk to us about the collapse.
So the collapse happened
It
is. It happened in 1870. Virginia was the last state that was actually allowed back into the Union. That was punishment because we were the capital of the Confederacy. When we were finally allowed to have elections again, we had our mayoral election, and we had George Calhoun and Henry Elston. The incoming elected official won, and the outgoing did not want to give out power. So they ended up having enough power between the two of them to have leading armies and started having battles in the streets. This goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, which has been located in the building at the time in the 3rd floor. Now, as Chris will tell you as a structural engineer, when they built this Capitol, they built it wrong.
Yeah, they left out some important support columns for the sake of aesthetics.
You think?
Yeah.
They didn't like having a line of sight in the middle of this House of Representatives.
So that was done right from the very beginning, and over the course of decades, like the balcony in particular started to take on a very unique dip to it. And actually they considered it was very it
was quirky.
It was quirky. It was quaint. It was just a feature of the building until it wasn't anymore, and it actually gave away there in April of 1870.
And that actually happened on the court case day, because that whole jury room was just filled.
I have a picture.
Yeah, it was insane. And basically, right as the judge walks in, everybody stands up. That collective movement of everybody standing up pulls the balcony away from the wall, and it falls and collapses and shatters the floor. Everybody falls into the House of Representatives below. Luckily, they weren't in session, or this would have been a lot worse. But
62 men dead.
62 men dead. People actually smell the gypsum dust that used to be the walls there. They will actually see people walking around coated in it, like it's a scene out of the volcano movie that you always watched.
And and they will sometimes hear the cries for help and the moaning of danger down there. So yeah, very tragic, catastrophic event there in April 1870. So yeah, it's later this month. It was April 27th. On April 27th of this month, it'll mark 155 years.
But it's not just
Wow.
the tragedy that keeps the ghost there. We have former governors who we think are doing their purgatory there because they skimmed a little off the top.
Yeah.
And they're still wandering around the building.
Oh.
And the newbies who don't know the portrait gallery yet will see them, call it in as an intruder. They'll do the search top to bottom. They'll end up in one of the portrait galleries, and all of a sudden they'll see the portrait of the government that they just saw.
Oh,
Yep.
so the portrait gallery, meaning all the famous Virginians that are
No,
hanging
just
up
all
there.
the former governors.
Every
Former
governor of
governors.
Virginia. Yep. Every governor of
Oh,
Virginia has
okay.
their portrait hanging in the Capitol. And so the one specific one was Extra Billy, or Governor William Smith. He was the one that had a little bit of a tendency for skimming a little extra off.
Extra Billy.
Oh
He
my
skimmed off the post office budget,
God.
Well,
Post office.
which
Yeah,
is why
he's very
Virginia's post office
purgatory.
is so terrible.
yeah.
You see the question below there?
Yes, we have 2 black cats and 2 gray cats. Our boys are the black cats.
Nice.
They're the ones that are being particularly active, persistent this evening. So
It's all good. It's
Yeah, the
all
So
girls-
what is
Oh, we don't have
what is
care
that
about
Capitol
that.
building used for now? Is it still used?
It's still the Capitol.
Yep.
Still the Capitol. Gotcha. And do
Yeah.
they have? Are you able to get in there? Like, do they do Capitol tours or?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so the main section, which is the original Capitol, is mostly museum space now and office space. The wings are where most of the events take place during session. We also have a very large underground system. When Governor Warner was here, they completely dug out that hillside and put in the underground building system. And that's where like the special meeting rooms are. It's where the cafeteria is.
and a museum space.
A museum
down.
space, a gift shop is all under there. The visitor center's under there.
So yeah, definitely you can go
Nice.
visit. Strongly recommend it because it's truly
I know.
it's astonishing building.
Yeah.
We
to
gave you
stop
some
on our
more
bus
pictures.
tour.
I want to show all your pictures before the show.
Please,
Okay.
please.
That's the building we're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just the building that's haunted, the grounds are haunted as well.
Yeah, the Butler I
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
is just
Interesting.
one of multiple entities that have been seen out there on the Capitol grounds, and that area where the group is standing, it's not too far from right underneath there. That whole underneath that hillside is actually where the visitor center is underground there. So that was only put in well, not quite 20 years ago now. So the visitor center is fairly new. But they're still a very, very active site politically for sure, but then also as a little bit of a tourist attraction and museum as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the next picture.
So that is
Gosh, I would
Bellevue
love-
Elementary School.
That's
yeah.
the school,
and that-
right?
Yep, that's the school. That's where
Okay.
Elizabeth Van Loo's house was.
We talked about this already?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. Elizabeth,
Okay.
my hero, remember?
I don't want to get into another 2-hour talk about
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's the back of the Scott House. It's in on the VCU Monroe Park campus. VCU is Virginia Commonwealth University, and the campus is actually built on a good chunk of what was Gilded Age Richmond. So the late 1800s, Richmond is expanding, and this particular neighborhood draws a lot of people with deep pockets, and they build all these beautiful houses up and down through there, and the families live there for maybe a couple of generations
Mhm.
before they move on or whatnot. And these buildings, many of them have been snapped up by VCU and turned into academic space, offices and classrooms and event spaces for the university. And Scott House is one of them.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's truly a stunning building. And actually,
This one's actually based off of one of the buildings at Versailles.
Yep. And it was also the home of one of Richmond's leading preservationists,
Yes.
Mary Winfield Scott. So she's one of the individuals that we can thank for having so many of our beautiful buildings from decades past with us still today. but the house does have some spirited activity there.
Yeah, it's mostly cold spots, a feeling of rushing, like
Okay.
somebody running by you. They just did a huge renovation on it after it had been student housing for a while. Now it's all their like special event space for the president's events. So we're hoping as more events take place, we're going to get some more stories out of there.
Mm.
Awesome.
Cool.
Here's another one. This is interesting.
Uh-huh.
So this is another one of VCU's buildings. It's actually student housing. It's their honors college, which is a unique kind of small college with inside the university. It's an arts college. They needed housing so badly that when this hospital went belly up, they snapped it up and turned it into student housing.
And this was
Love
was-
it.
actually this was just a turn of the century, beginning
Yeah.
like 2001.
2001, 2002 is when it went belly up and VCU was able to purchase it.
Yeah, she's not
Um,
honors anymore.
Kim's like, Kim's like, nope, no.
Well, I'm
no
looking
more.
at it and I'm like, it looks like a hospital, right? And
yeah, you're actually
crazy.
looking at the old ambulance bay right behind
That's crazy.
the guide there. And the students, we feature this on our VCU Family Weekend tour every
You're like,
single
"Nope."
year. And always we have students who are like, yep, still happening. That just happened yesterday.
Really?
So they are
Oh, I bet.
constantly confirming.
Yep. The activity there is mostly poltergeist type activity, things sliding
Okay.
off of shelves and breaking and stuff like that. The students have actually given the entity the name Gladys.
We
Now-
don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they call it.
Yeah, they call it
Right.
Gladys.
the ghost.
Yep. There is also up on one of the upper floors, they have sometimes seen an old man in a mirror.
Yes.
They'll look in the mirror, they'll see the old man behind them.
Oh,
Like at a distance,
That's
but he's
creepy.
there.
Yeah, very,
Very
Okay.
creepy.
But the
Yeah.
place does still have
nobody
a
likes
very-
that.
still has a very medical feeling to it,
Mhm.
because when they took it over, VCU was just, they were so desperate for the space that the renovations were minimal, just enough to basically say, oh, look, now it's student housing.
Yeah, they still have the original like metal heavy doors that will randomly just let loose, and they're like, "That's Gladys. She plays with the
Gladys.
elevator."
Yep. But yeah,
Wow.
it's still the hallways and whatnot still have very medical feel to
Institutional.
it, institutional.
Yeah, no
to
kidding.
it. So
Yeah, I would never be able to stay there for college. It would. It could
She
never
would
happen.
never. Can you imagine
Never. It
Kim?
could never happen.
No way.
I would literally
Yeah.
probably choose to get C's and D's. If that was my honor
And
housing.
trust me, that would be hard. That would be
It
hard
would be
for
very
her.
hard. Crazy. I've never heard of that. Is there any other place you guys can
What's
think of?
wrong
where
with
they
C's and D's?
hospital for
No,
living?
typically like
That's
an
what
honors,
got
like,
me through everything. Jesus. Passing.
no, typically like an honors college is a new, relatively new concept. Like Rutgers, where I went, has a new building that they built for the honors college. Like, I can't believe that they would use a hospital. Like they must have been really, not getting donors for that honors college.
they're
build it.
they're doing okay money wise.
It's just more of the space areas
It's
because
just
it was
cheap.
already
Oh, no
built up.
space. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And VCU's been so pressed for space over the years that there have been times where they
Oh.
students will show up for the semester and find out, oh wait, you don't have a room.
You're staying in a local hotel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah,
Well,
they'll put them
then
in a
what choice do they
hotel
have?
for a semester.
I mean,
Um,
I was in a built-up triple. With two other girls. They're still some of my best friends. So thank God it all worked out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty packed where I went.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, VCU.
Well, you got to do what you got to
very
do.
interesting.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, I
Hospital.
wouldn't mind doing an overnight there, like investigating, but no. Sorry, my dog is choking.
Okay, here's another picture.
You
I
would
think this-
never.
I think this is one of the pictures you read. Oh no.
So that is our Egyptian building here in town. It's part of the VCU Monroe Park campus, or not Monroe Park, downtown campus.
VCU has two campuses in town. This is on the medical campus.
Yeah, it is the original training building for the VCU medical students. So they would actually have a dissection lab in there and other things. It's connected to tunnels. This is where their dark history of employing a body snatcher takes place.
Oh,
So he was known to come in and roll the bodies into the lab, and he had just basically dug them up the night before.
Yeah, we heard this with yes, we did hear this.
I mean, it's a common story for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it is a story that,
Excuse me.
well, speaking of cat,
Hello, buddy.
it is a story that
It's fine.
certainly took place
A lot of
all across
places.
the country
Yeah.
and overseas as well. I mean, it was very common practice over in Europe.
It was
Yes.
illegal to donate your body until 1853. That's when the Anatomy Act came to play. But
Right.
even then, you had to deal with societal and religious views to overcome before it actually became common practice
Yeah.
for the donation. Until then, body snatching was employed.
Yep.
Mhm.
So the main body
Yeah.
snatcher here, his name was Old Chris, or Chris
Chris
Baker, or more also known as
Morbidly known as.
the boogeyman. Excuse me, the boogeyman of Jackson Ward.
He was an African American gentleman. He was completely shunned by his own community, as you can imagine. He was mostly pulling
Yeah.
from the poor and destitute graveyards, that sort of thing.
Right.
They did try to get
Right.
any prisoners that were executed, but that just wasn't enough.
So yeah, he lived and worked in that building for most of his life. His parents were actually janitors, caretakers of the building. So he was effectively born and raised there, lived there for most of his life, and did his worked his business out of the place as well. It's
Old Chris the boogeyman.
Yeah. Interesting thing about it is that he did this so long and he had so much exposure to it that realistically, if
He should have been a doctor.
he could have been a doctor by the time he got
Right.
later on in life, because he had so much exposure to it. But well, that was just not in the cards back in that day for an African American gentleman like himself.
Mhm.
I'm surprised
No.
he didn't catch any contagious
No.
disease or anything like that.
He
handling all
lived
the-
until he was
Exactly.
in his 80s,
Yeah, he
Wow.
lived a long life.
which is surprising considering he was
Wow.
working with chemicals like he was.
Yeah,
Oh, that too.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another
Why is
picture.
it called you called it Egyptian?
Yeah, so it was built in the Egyptian style.
the Egyptian revival, because this is a
Okay.
point when it was built. This is actually fresh off of Napoleon having occupied Egypt, and really kind of that was a period where a lot of people were just becoming very aware of Egypt and Egyptian culture.
It was also a nod to Imhotep, the original physician
Yep.
in the old Egyptian mythologies.
Yeah,
They
I was wondering. Okay.
when they renovated, they actually brought the Egyptian motif inside, so now it's throughout the entire building.
Awesome.
Look at that sky.
Okay.
Gorgeous
Here's
picture.
another.
I know. I was like, beautiful picture,
We got
right?
two more
Yeah,
pictures.
it's a gorgeous picture. Oh,
I'll send it to you. Okay.
Okay.
That is our old armory. Now, this
Whoa.
one actually, interestingly, the armory unfortunately has basically been abandoned for 20 years
20
now.
years, yeah.
Armory, just like it sounds like, it served as a place for like National Guard training for decades back in the early to mid 1900s. When that activity was relocated, they tried using it as office space. There was even a stint where it was turned into indoor shopping mall, but none of it stuck, and now it's been empty for about 20 years. This particular location, we actually don't have a ghost story about it.
We have a fun history story
we do
instead.
have a fun history story that we walk by it on one of our tours, and just based on looking at it, it's like we tell our folks, like, we don't have a ghost story, but we can't walk by this building and not tell you something about it, because it just has that presence.
Yeah.
So the story we have that we share about it takes place during the Korean War. and it's still being used for National Guard training at that point. And it was late one Monday night in October. You got a bunch of National Guardsmen there. They're training on what is called a recoilless rifle. But actually, realistically, what it is, it's more a small piece of artillery. And there are a couple of Army officers that are overseeing the whole thing. Supposedly overseeing it, because they don't do a very good job. And there are 3 types of shells that this recoilless rifle can take. Explosive shells that will be used on the battlefield, dummy shells, and inert shells. Now, dummy and inert sound very much alike in purpose, but the dummy is basically still has a live charge in it, except it fires a solid shot instead of an explosive shot. Whereas the inert is truly inert. It doesn't do anything. And
It's the practice shell.
The practice shell, and that's what they should have been using for training. And, well, there was a mix-up. They wind up putting one of these dummy shells into it, pull the trigger, and basically
Kaboom.
Shell blasts out the wall of the building, flies over a mile across Richmond, and lands not too far from where we're sitting right now here in the Church Hill neighborhood of Richmond.
A mile?
Yeah, over a mile.
It almost takes out the school board.
Yeah, school board meeting went probably missed that building by just a matter of a few feet. Fortunately, nobody died, and even injuries were relatively minor. 2 of the National Guardsmen, we're taken in.
In that case, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah, we call it the last
Hilarious.
bombardment
It's
of Churchill.
yeah. But it wound up,
That's
of course,
funny.
plaster dust everywhere, and every window of the
Oh
building
my God,
exploded.
it's like a Bugs
exploded
Bunny
outward.
cartoon. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
So yeah, that was the last.
Oops, mislabeling.
Those buildings around it, were they there at
They
the
were
time?
dummies, all right.
But were those
Yeah,
buildings
yeah.
around it, or was that part of the camp, some kind of field or something? Like
So
buildings?
the building that's right next to it that you see, that was not there. And where you see, you'll see a row of windows, and right above them, you'll see some bricked out. That's where it went out of.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see that there. Yeah,
I see that. Yeah.
because that was like a field next to it that they practice on the National Guard.
Yep, that they were trying to practice on that recoilless rifle, and they got a little more practice than they bargained for that night.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, I
they
think
were
they got
dummies.
the message. It works. A mile? Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
They are really lucky nobody got hurt.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's one last picture you have.
That is a good story.
One more picture.
Berkeley Hotel.
Yes.
Beautiful hotel
Ooh.
right in the heart of the city. It's at 12th and Carey Streets on an area called Shaco Slip. It's actually right at the toe of Capitol Hill. The area you can actually kind of see on the very, very top left side of the picture an office building. It's right on the edge of our financial district. But going the other way down the street is a bunch of old warehouses. It was a major trading hub back in the late 1800s. This building was built to resemble the warehouses, to kind of blend in, but it's a relatively new one. It was only constructed back in the 1980s. And the spirited stories we have about it are 2 very distinct spirits, one of whom was the builder of the hotel, a gentleman named Alan Voorhees. And he was basically a architect, a landscape architect, made his fortune, and then decided that he wanted to spend the rest of his life entertaining people and partying. So he built a hotel with beautiful ballroom space and a restaurant and all that. And he effectively spent a lot of his time living there. And it was on one night he was there celebrating his
80th birthday.
80th birthday. Wasn't feeling too well. Said, hey, I'm going to go take a nap for an hour. Come wake me up. And when they went to wake him up, they found that he had passed away.
Did you get
So
hit by a shell from the
Oh, never say that. Never say that.
you get hit
Yeah, I
a
was
shell
gonna
from the
say,
National
never.
Guard thing over there?
No.
It's
But yeah, he's still there today. He's still making
no.
sure that people are enjoying his hotel and that things are up to his standards.
Good for
He's
him.
been a little put out because of COVID. They shut the restaurant down and it just barely reopened like a year ago.
Mm.
They're still
Mm.
not hosting any parties or using the ballroom. So
Oh,
he's a little limited on where he's seen these days.
but I do recommend the hotel or not just the hotel. The
what a
hotel
way
is
to
lovely to
go.
stay at. The restaurant there, it's a place they call it Chef's Kitchen.
It's absolutely lovely.
Fantastic. Main focus is Italian, but very, very good food there. They're doing great work there.
We're starting to run out of time. I
Cool.
just
So
want
he
to
must love that. Ellen,
maybe you guys
please.
could give whatever,
Okay.
to the people in the audience,
Yeah.
how to get in touch with you. And, if they're down there, how to, get in touch with you to see one of these stores.
Yeah, absolutely. So main thing
Yeah.
would be the website, hauntsofrichmond.com. That's where we have information there. That's where you can buy tour tickets. And when you had clicked there, you brought up actually the calendar shows that we have availability for tours most nights of the week.
Which
So
one you
you
want
can-
the schedule?
Schedule. Yep.
Yeah, if you click on schedule there. And again, we will also have a new website in about a week's time, which will be a little more pleasant on the eye and a little easier to navigate. But all of those green days they're on the calendar, they're days that we have availability. So you can come on out and catch us just about any night of the week.
Okay.
We do have a whole bunch of fantastic guides that work for us as well. That's how we do this. We could not do what we do without them. So are very thankful for our guides that help us make sure that we can be sharing haunted history with y'all. And we're also on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Putting sharing the spooky stuff, keeping people informed on what we have going on, and sharing fun little ghost stories here and there as well.
So yeah, as you can see, we have not yet
That's so
populated
cool.
October. That will be coming soon.
Yep. Yeah. There's a couple things that we're waiting on to confirm for events in October. And once we do that, we'll be filling out that October schedule. So won't be too long before we have that up there as well.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So
Well, this was an
Very
absolute
cool.
pleasure to have two people on who literally the stories, the history, and the paranormal. Yeah, so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know you. I knew you guys would love this.
Exactly.
Oh, I know. I do.
I knew you guys were gonna
I
love
mean, this is what our show is all about, paranormal
Yeah.
and history. So it's like you two are
Yeah.
perfect. And I would love you to come back because personally, like having read this book, now I have like 80,000 more questions for you. So either I need to come down and take your tour and ask you, but I would love you all to come back.
Yeah, we would love to.
Absolutely. We love doing this stuff. So always happy to talk about the spooky side of Richmond, and really with all the stuff that we have to talk about, we still just kind of scratched the surface tonight. So yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah. So many good stories in this book, and I'm sure you know all about them. So I would love to have you back.
Yeah, thanks you so much for having us. This has
We will
been
have
a
you
lot of
back,
fun.
too.
I know.
Yeah,
I
we
think
will.
we get to ask what their scariest experience or what their
I know.
most-
Well, I
you know.
We got
yeah,
3
we get
minutes.
it. It's
We got
happening.
3
You're
minutes
coming
in. Go ahead.
Ooh.
3
So-
minutes. Scariest
You want
experience. Go.
I actually stay out of the Poe Museum in the Memorial Building because I get bruised every time I go in there. The rest of the buildings
Oh
I'm
my
fine in,
God.
just not the
Okay.
Memorial.
Yep, there's
Okay.
something in there. We have a sneaking suspicion we know what it is, but nothing that we can cover in
3 minutes or less.
2 minutes or
Not
less.
good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
God.
maybe we'll lead off with that next time. And actually,
No, fair
speaking
enough.
for-
I love
yeah,
it.
speaking for myself, I don't have too many paranormal experiences. I'm on the chiller side of things. I don't see entities with my own
Ooh.
eyes. I don't hear the disembodied whispers with my own ears.
He's our voice of reason.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
I
Well,
certainly
me
have
too.
I've certainly been in
We need
plenty
that.
of investigations where stuff has been caught on camera or on audio recordings. So I have had a front row seat to it, and I know plenty of people that have their experiences, people that I trust in words, but people that I trust implicitly that, I know enough of that's where really the source of my belief is the people that I work with and that I know through the paranormal field.
Awesome.
Well, awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
we're gonna
Thank
have to
you so
say
much.
goodnight.
Thank
I thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming on. And it was
Thank you.
wonderful. From
Yeah,
down there, I'm
incredible
going to
show.
just hit
Everybody
you guys
loved
up
it.
and go on one of those tours with the
The segways,
Segways.
yes.
segways. Go on the
Anthony,
segway
let's
tour.
do it.
The
Yeah,
segway
thank you and
I'm
your
in.
furry co-hosts.
Yes.
Yes.
You should have gave them mics too. So
They were active, but they weren't too chatty. But oh well.
I should have let my cats in. They could have just, looked at each other the whole time.
Oh yes.
So I want to say thank you guys for being on the show. I want to thank the audience. We had great people again tonight.
Ton of people
Mary
tonight.
Beth,
Yes.
the Cocos, Todd and Chameleon. And that's what I call
Al
it.
Cooley on tonight.
Al
Roast in the
Cooley.
Valley.
We had Al,
Ed.
Ron Yacovetti was on, Richard Michella. We even had
Ed
Who's
from
that?
Sweet Home.
yeah, Ed from Sweet Home. That's another location, a haunted location upstate. So we had a big group on tonight. It was awesome.
Huge group.
Yeah.
You're a big draw, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Melissa, don't forget Melissa Blackman
Melissa.
from Kansas, KC. So I want to thank everybody for coming on the show tonight. So we got to tell everybody, you got to be safe out there. We got to go to these locations with all this old history and go there and keep going to them so they can stay around, so we could continue going to, not just for the paranormal, just for the history. There's a lot of history out there too, and there's a lot of ghosts. I just want to say you got to be safe out there. You also got what I was going to say. Ron Yacovetti,
You
tell
gotta
me
be
what I was
safe
going to
out
say.
there.
Tell me what I was going to say, Ron.
You gotta be
You
safe
want
out
to look
there.
for ghosts.
You want to look for
You don't
ghosts.
want to be
Be
a
a
ghost.
ghost.
Wanna be
Let me
a
start it over.
ghost.
Okay. I just wanted Ron to come in because he's telling me I'm going to be saying it wrong. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want
Don't
to
let Ron
be a
get in your head.
ghost. Good night. Forget about it. Ciao, familia.
Forget about it.
Hey, how you doing?